Greetings, YouTube. A recent study has shown that by the year 2030, as much as 42% of the American population will be obese. And a quarter of that will be severely obese, people who are 100 or more pounds obese, above weight. What I believe is currently referred to as morbid obesity, morbidly obese. That's a lot of fat people, and that's really kind of terrifying. Now, it's important to remember that I speak to you as someone that used to be a whole lot heavier. I'm currently tipping the scale at 170, which is much higher than I want to be. I should probably be around 160, maybe even 155. But it's not going down, not going as well as I'd like it, even though I am trying. I regulate my intake, and I exercise regularly. It's just I've seemed to have hit a kind of a plateau, and I haven't yet figured out what I'm going to do next. Because I don't want to eat less, and I don't want to exercise more, so I may be stuck. But I used to weigh 60 pounds more than I do now, so I know what it's like to be heavy. I know how difficult it is, I know how pleasant it is, and I know how hard it is to stop being heavy. But it is possible. You can do it. It just isn't something that most people want to do. Particularly if you take into account the American diet, which is just so horrible. I realize that most people can't eat the kind of rigid diet that I do. I eat the same foods 5 or 6 days a week, every single day. And I can do that. It doesn't bother me in the least. But most people can't do it. And I understand that. But it will take effort to come up with, a dietary plan that you can live with. And that's where a dietitian comes in. I recommend seeing one if you can. Talk to your general practitioner as well. They will help you and give you advice even if you don't have a dietitian. Avoid becoming diabetic. I can attest, being diabetic is no fun. While I do have a genetic predilection to being diabetic, I didn't help the process. I had a horrible diet and I ate far too much sugar because Americans are really good at eating sugar. Now, if we were somehow to miraculously keep the obesity levels at what they are now, which is 34%, and not let them climb to 42%, that would be a savings of some $550 billion. And that's a big piece of change. And it would be awesome if we could do that. But, we're not going to. We're going to keep getting larger and larger. Now, as you know, I've been working on healing from an ulcer on my right toe, my big toe. And I'm in the final stages of that healing process. It has been 9 months. You don't want neuropathy. You don't want to be diabetic. Take my word for it. But when I go in to have treatments done, or at least I did, I don't think I'm going to have to go back again for a treatment. The seats they put you in a special chair. The chair goes up and down, it tilts back and forth, and it's got a leg thing. So they can position you where they need to position you so that the doctor can work on whatever wound you have that they have to treat. And these seats are built to accommodate the full range of diabetic patients. Guess what a lot of diabetic patients are? Morbidly obese. These seats are so wide, I cannot put my elbows on them comfortably. Like right now, I'm putting my elbows on my chair because that's a standard width chair. No problem. But the width on these, they're like 6-8 inches further away from me. I cannot comfortably do this. I'll do this occasionally because I can do that, or I just sit with my arms in my lap because I can't do this on the chairs because they're made for people who are way bigger than me, and it depresses me every single time I ever sat in one of those chairs. They're too darn big. We are too darn big, and we need to do something about it, starting in childhood and all the way through your senior years. We have to do something. We need to get our diet to be better. We need to increase our exercise. We need to work on portion control. We need to make sure that everyone from age 5 to 95 knows what a healthy diet looks like. It's going to be a lot of work. But if we don't do it, we are going to have a whole lot of people who are going to be very, very sick and very unhappy.